Mr. West, there's a lot of debate on social media and everything about what era was the best era of basketball. The 90s players seem to think it was their era. Today's players, there's so much talent now. What era do you think was the best?
Yeah, what was the best era of basketball, in your opinion?
Oh my gosh! I think I believe in 1988, and I'm not sure. I think the Lakers won the championship when I was there. The three-point line had came into being. I don't think we shot 300 three-point shots all year long, but those teams in the 80s were the best teams I have ever seen, even better than the teams playing today. They had size. They had, oh my gosh, they had all-stars at every position. But you have to remember one thing. The league was now expanding. And so there were less players that could play in the league. And now there's more players that play in the league. And with the growth of the league, you keep seeing people clamoring for, an expansion franchise. And I think the NBA, I have, our commissioner, has done an unbelievable job, and I'm talking about Adam Silver. He's done an unbelievable job growing this league. His job was so different than David Stern's, and he's grown this league now, and there's room for other teams because there's so many players that are worthy of playing in the NBA. But as I say, this game will not stop growing. I just feel that as I say, in 88 when we won that, coaches didn't have to adjust to the three-point line. And that has, in the last number of years, and I don't know what years those were, but now you see everyone wanting to shoot a three-point shot. And the other thing I think it does, it kind of opens up an area for smaller players to be able to play in the league because cleverness with the ball, the ability to shoot three-point shots. I think it's also let smaller players play, and there's a bunch of people out there that don't grow to 6'5" to 6'9" or 6'10". There's a bunch of kids, so that's a good thing about it. But the coaches have changed. We've got some incredible coaches in this league, and hats off to them because they have learned how to use this three-point line to their advantage.
How many three-pointers would you have made with a line?
Well, if you shoot enough, you're going to make some. And I didn't mind shooting the ball.
No, you did not. TJ, you have a question, but make it very loud.
Very loud. So, Mr. Jerry, we're in sports. We're very.
TJ's got a question for you.
In sports, we're very big on comparisons. We always like to compare the players from our past to the players of our present. Which modern day players do you see that remind you of yourself, of a young Jerry West? Who out there in the league today do you look at and go, okay, I can see myself in him?
Yeah, who do you see in the modern day NBA that reminds you of you?
God forbid anyone did. I was a crazy competitor. I mean, I used to worry about the games all day long. And I think we have so many of those kids in the league, so many of them today in the league. But I think looking back, and it's uncomfortable to really talk about, how I played in those times. And obviously I was a player that got a lot of attention. I think I made 11 all-pro teams in my career, and the writers didn't vote for it, and the players. And so it was more meaningful, I think, than it is today. But I probably, when I came into the league, was a better defensive player than I was an offensive player. And that was really a strength that I like to see in players. And I think I mentioned earlier, I mentioned two players that play for the Clippers, and I see all these other teams play. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they play both ends of the court. And that's why I sort of admire them maybe more than most might, even though they've not been healthy here recently. I just like players that are well-rounded, that can play both ends of the court, and they like to do it. You have to like to do that. Coaches can't keep forcing you to do it. You see players that are poor defenders, and you say, my goodness, this player is so athletic. Why can't he play the other end of the court? And there's a knack to doing that. I told Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one time, I said, Kareem, if you'd really work hard, and after the end of the season, I said to him, if you really worked hard, you might accomplish things that you can't even believe. After the season, I apologized to him. He made it look so easy because he didn't waste steps. And you see some players, you watch some really great players, unless they're running, their effort is just moving their body subtly to the right places. And within the scheme of a defensive scheme that the coach might put out there for them, they just play the game easier. They have fewer wasted steps in a game, and they accomplish more.
Well, then I have to ask you, how did he take that criticism when you said that to him?
He and I are close. He's one of the players that, I don't know, I always liked him. And he's different. He's really studious. He's incredibly bright. And he and I like to read. And it came because of reading. He would, I'd hear him talk about certain things. But I met him when he was in high school. And I think what happened, I read about him in the paper. And when I was playing, we practiced at the gym, and I went over and had a conversation with him. And that's, little did I know he was going to get to where he was going to get. And I had an opportunity to coach him. He was a consummate professional, and I admired everything he did. And particularly after being around him, he was one of those players that just didn't waste steps, and it was just an economical way for him to save energy.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.